And we're live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, June 11th. I hope everybody is doing well. It has been quite the morning. I will give everybody an update on what's been going on this morning, but thank you everyone for joining me early. We have to get to the dealership today at 2:30, so I have a hard cutoff of 2. Normally we start streaming at noon, and so I wanted to make sure we had 3 hours. So that's the reason why we are starting an hour earlier today. So hopefully that makes the time better for some people, and sorry for everyone that it is not as ideal of a time as the normal slot, which is an hour later. So man, this morning has been wild. I think I have a sneeze coming on. I did take allergy pills. So this morning's been wild. The TV, so I use a TV for streaming, right? It's even when I'm recording my regular YouTube videos, I have an HDMI cable hooked up to my camera so I can make sure that I'm in frame and focus, everything is correct before I hit record. And the reason I do that is because over the last 10 to 14 years of recording videos, I have lost so many videos from looking at my little screen, thinking I'm in focus, recording the entire video of me talking, getting to the computer and realizing I'm not in focus. So that's why I use that. And maybe about a month ago, the TV started acting up where one time it just wasn't turning on, and I unplugged it like you typically do with electronics that aren't working. Let it sort of chill and then plugged it back in. You're not supposed to be up here right now. He's up here. Hey, Daddy's live. You can say hi really quick. I got him. Here, you can say hi, but you gotta go downstairs after, okay? I'm recording. You come up in a little bit, okay? Okay. Say bye-bye. Well, yeah, I didn't do it because otherwise you guys wouldn't be able to get up, but I can lock it and let you guys in a little later. Okay, here. Okay. Hey, go watch on the TV, okay? You'll come up in a little bit. Okay? I'll see you in a little bit. Here, take this downstairs, please, and put it in the trash for Daddy. Downstairs, okay? I gotta lock up the door. Come on. No, hold on.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. This is the one you keep taking. Let's see. Here. There you go. She's got a heart. Okay, I'll lock it. Well, there's been a lot of that going on. Yeah, it's been a rough, probably week and a half. I feel like we've hit what people call sleep regression. And so Jack has been not staying in his bed, not staying in his room, coming up, just doing all sorts of things. So anyways, yes, the TV that I use for all the streaming and everything acted up. I unplugged it probably a month ago and it started working fine again. And it's worked fine up until 2 days ago or something like that, where it just would not turn on. And I did the same thing, unplugged it, tried all sorts of different, I mean, there's only so much you can do with a TV that's not turning on, but tried a handful of things and the TV just wasn't working. And so my initial plan was to figure out what I was gonna do about that yesterday. I completely forgot until 45 minutes ago when I set up everything. I was like, oh my God, I don't have a TV. I'm not gonna be able to see chat. I'm not gonna be able to see the stream. So I panicked, ripped the TV off the wall, ran down, remembered that we had a really old, slightly smaller TV that's been in the guest room that doesn't really get used. So ran upstairs, got that plugged in, but now fonts are all wrong, the color of the picture is all wrong. So it's just been a chaotic, morning. So I apologize if I'm a bit more scattered. The main downside of me having to deal with that is I am not prepared with parts and stuff for today's stream, while normally I'm trying to be prepared. Why also do I not hear, I don't hear any music. It says it's playing. Do you guys hear music? It says this computer. Maybe I have the wrong output? There we go. I can hear it now. So I don't think you guys can hear it now. So let me fix this. It's just been one thing after another today. We're gonna have a good stream. There we go. Okay, I think music is fixed. Extra squirrely today, yes. Anyways, let me do a quick hello to everybody. Who's all here? We got Man of the Croc, Hobo Banana, Delmar in the house, Lord Getface, Queasy Diver, Beads, RS, TJ, oh no, it's Mike, Glock's here, Hasio's Prince, Vinny, hello, Hi, Elg. Hi, Elg. Hello. Ranch Kid's here. Lewis is here. Greenbeard's in the house. Eric's here. Angel. Yeah, Angel is here. Alan's here. I hope everyone's doing wonderful. Domar, you said, any thoughts on the Carvera Air review? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Did you do a review on the Carvera Air, or are you asking a question if I'm going to get a Carvera Air and do a review on it? I'm not sure what exactly the question is. Sorry. I'm printing a Mando helmet. Nice. Awesome. Hey, Shrimp Father. Music's good. Awesome. Music's good. Sweet, sweet. Okay. Everything sounds good. I know you were talking about it last week. Got it. Yeah, I've had Carvera's reached out to me a ridiculous amount of times to review the unit, the Carvera Air specifically, both them and marketing agencies, and I have not replied to any of them. Not because I'm not interested in the Carvera Air. I think it seems like a really cool machine. A lot of it comes down to I am so behind on reviews and videos and don't know how much interest you guys and the rest of the YouTube audience that watches my channel would have in the machine. And also I'd want to make sure that I have some ideas or projects lined up that I could actually use the thing for and show it off in the review. So I'm not saying I won't end up getting one in. If they were wanting to send one for the review channel just to do a first look type thing, I would be totally on board with that, but I don't know if they have interest in that. This channel is a lot smaller than the primary channel, so usually when, not all companies, but usually when companies reach out and I'm like, hey, I don't have the bandwidth to do a full review, but if you want us to do like a first look unboxing, I can do that. So I could reach out. CNC gantry would be awesome. Post-processing will be interesting for sure. Seems they're doing the same as Bamboo with mechanic. Oh, interesting, with mechanic YouTubers. So, a couple things. First off, I'm at least proud of myself because one of my goals was to flash the flash the image file at least to. Oh, interesting. I guess I'm not so proud of myself. The flash failed. That's weird. I know that that's happened before, and I just have redone the thing, and it's worked, so let's try that again. Okay, so we are attempting to flash the Clipper image onto the micro SD card. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I could either try another micro SD card, or we can figure out something else. I feel like I don't have good luck with flashing images. Maybe it's just a Balena Etcher thing. I think it's specifically Balena Etcher on this Windows computer. If it doesn't work again, I'm almost tempted to really quickly pop it into my Mac and see if it'll flash correctly there, because I feel like I've had this issue quite a few times before. Hey, nice. So the main thing we did last week to bring everyone up to speed is we built the tool heads. Let me see. It's such an awkward thing to get a good shot of this with enclosures and camera angles, and so let's see. So the last thing we did was get these tool heads built, if I remember correctly, and so I did spend some time. Here they are. Let's see if we can get them in focus. Here they are, looking very pretty. So what I did after last week's stream was basically get the mounting pins installed. So let me grab one of them. It's so awkward to reach over this. Let's see. Whoop. So there are pins for all of them, as well as magnets. So I did that, and then I also let me slide this back on like so. The other thing I did was get the, let's see, let me lift you guys up. Any idea for a 3-color test print? I don't have any specific things in mind, so I'm totally open-minded to ideas and suggestions. I did do these as well. So these are like the nylon little cable, or what's the word for these? Nylon cable attachment pieces, organizers. I don't know what the word is, but I got those all routed. So they're zip tied here. It's got the USB cable along with the PTFE tube. So those are running down, and then I have them running down to the bottom of this. So we had looked last week at sort of what was left, and so the main things are we need to flip this thing on its face because it's the only side that doesn't have something that's protruding like motors or a CPAP cooling fan. We've got to do quite a bit of wiring today. Also motor wiring, I just realized none of our motors are connected. So we're gonna do quite a bit of wiring today. The main things are try to get this thing wired up. Then I think the next step is add the screen, which I just realized once we add the screen, we won't have a side at all to lean this thing onto because the screen will be on the front. So that'll be interesting. And then once the screen's on, it's basically flashing all the things. So the Pi board, the main controller, the Nighthawks, the Eddy probe, like there's just gonna be lots, it's gonna be flashing crazy. Bluetooth motors, yes. What are we breaking today? Hopefully nothing. We haven't really broken anything. This panel is really thin. Like I'm gonna say it's like a 2mm thick panel. And I did notice that on one of the screw holes, specifically this top right one, that there was a hairline crack from where the screw goes through to the edge of it here. I'm not gonna blame, I do think that these panels should be a little bit thicker, but I'm not gonna blame ProForge on shipping a broken panel. I have a feeling because it was so thin and it's sitting basically behind me here up against my drawers, that I might have cracked it over the last month and a half or 2 months of it kind of sitting there. So yes, let's go ahead and check out wiring and see what that's looking like for this. Hey Kadorn, hey Armor, happy Wednesday everybody. Yes, wiring. So we've got basically the USB wiring as well as wiring everything into the power supply. It looks like that's what's next. When did I miss? I'm just curious, like, did I miss the motor wiring? Or is that coming up? So we have that. Okay, motor wiring is coming up. Are we supposed to, hold on. Okay. Interesting. Okay, we'll start in order from top to bottom because that feels like the right way to do things. It is going to be really difficult for me to show you guys what the heck I'm doing here. Let me also just double check stuff I missed here in chat. So, corrupt SD card, maybe it's a brand new SD card that came with the kit, and it is a SanDisk, which is usually pretty good quality. Makercoin, it could do. You have your MMU chip, MMU cube as well. I do, yes, we do have the MMU cube. I haven't printed that since the MMU 3 build. 2.4 are easy to build, enjoy the experience. Yeah, there's definitely more to it than the Trident. I don't know if I'd say it's an easy build, but like, there's good instructions, there's lots of references, and those are all positive things. I don't know if I missed it. Did you final review? No final review of the Box Turtle. I'm hoping to have that out next week. It's not really going to be a final review, more like where we're at now with everything and sort of the issues I ran into, which are not really Box Turtle related, more my 2.4 config. You might replace my panels. My flash failed again. Did it really? Lovely. Awesome. Okay. I am debating on... Okay, let's try this. I'm pretty sure I'm running Balena Etcher. I'm pretty sure I'm running a really old version of Balena Etcher, so let's start by downloading... Unless they just haven't updated it because there's been no need to, but let's just try reinstalling it and seeing if maybe there's something to do with just the version I have being bugged, because like I said, I feel like I've had lots of issues. I could also try a different micro SD card adapter. That could be it. The ones I have are all really like cheap ones that were thrown in for free with printers and stuff like that. Did it download? Wait, what? Did I not? Is it just self-contained? Huh. Okay. All right, well, let's try this one. Third time's the charm, right? Let's see if this does it. I don't know that it will. There's nothing different that's changed. So, okay. I think I will quickly rotate the printer. It's getting less fun to move this one. It's gotten a lot heavier, and on top of that, with the panels on here, or like getting panels on here, right? It's got the back and the left panel on. Oh, that was probably not great. It's just there's not really a good place to grab it from. Jackson's climbing up the stairs and crying again. He's been on a good one this past week. Not really napping very much, not really sleeping very much. I feel bad for him, honestly. I don't know what's going on with him. Okay, let's do this. So, camera is right here. Pikachu uses Splash. It wasn't very effective. As a Pokemon fan, I appreciate the reference. Okay, camera's right here, and it looks like there's a printed piece, which I found right here. So it's gonna be awkward. I'm kind of gonna be building it at an angle inside the printer, but here's our little printed piece. And I think this is just maybe not quite a Raspberry Pi cam. It also looks like maybe I should install the cable for this first. Is it? Yeah, it's not going to be real easy to access. So the question I have is, where is the cable for this and what does it look like? These all look... This could be it. This could be it. All right. Yeah, it seems like this will do it. Okay, and then this just goes like this, I think. Okay, it looks like the screws, it just kind of sits in here loosely, but it looks like based off the PCB, there's sort of like little, not holes, but half holes that will, the screws that go through the case will pass through there, and that'll kind of help lock it in place. So it says we need an M318, two M318 and two nylon lock nuts. So let's see if I can find these. How's everybody's week going? Hey, is it Soren? Hey, Soren. Sorry, I mentioned earlier, but the TV that I normally use decided it was done working. So I'm using a slightly smaller TV, and it was already quite difficult for me to see chat with the one I had before, and it is very, very difficult for me to read chat now. I can, but if you see squinting and more me questioning myself more than normal, it's because I'm just trying to make sure I can read things correctly. Okay, so we got two screws, and then we need two nylon lock nuts. And screws are going through the front. Okay. So it looks like the screws just, I'm going to be careful with this. It kind of secures the camera in place. There's still some wiggle, but I guess once it's installed, it's probably not that big of a deal that it's not the tightest thing ever. Work is slowly picking back up. Oh, nice. Yeah, I would imagine summer has to be, this has to be like, yeah, there's definitely some, maybe once the lock nuts are in place, it won't move as much. Summer's got to be by far the busiest time of year for anything boat related. Oops. Okay, we lost our nut. It's okay. It'll come back to us later. Let's grab another one. Oh, also updates on the thumb saga. For everyone that remembers last week, I got my x-ray results during stream, and the x-ray results basically said it's not a fracture and it's not arthritis, according to the x-ray. So I got an email, not an email, I got a message from my primary care physician, basically stating that they think it's probably a sprain and that the best course of action is to get a splint, and that they would put in a request for that. So I waited. So that was like Thursday. And then I reached out, I reached out over the weekend, just asking if there was any update. And she said, yeah, I put in the request last week. It should be good to go. So I went down attempting to get it. They told me the splint is not ready, so that it would be ready today. And then I got a call this morning saying that they're not sure if insurance will cover it. So now I have to wait to see if insurance thinks that the splint is needed based off the reasoning from the doctor to see if they want to cover it. I'm just like, I love insurance. It's the best. So we'll see. Thumb is still about how it was last week. It's hurting, but it's not as bad if I kind of am a little bit more cognitive of the fact that it's hurting, so I don't try to put as much pressure on it. Okay, this seems plenty tight. And I take back what I said. It totally secures it in place once these are in. I'm not going to go tighter than that. It's just a camera that's going to be sitting, so that is there. Hey Jerry, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. Time to 3D print your own splint. Yeah, no, I mean, no kidding. It probably wouldn't be, I mean, I don't know. I've never had a splint, but like, what does a thumb splint even look like? Isn't it usually just like a piece of metal and then you wrap it? I'm going to quickly search this myself to make sure nothing weird pops up when I search. Oh, is that all that it is? Okay, I'll show this. I thought that it was like normally a piece of metal, like a flat piece of metal that you put on your thumb and then you wrapped it with something. But these all kind of look, oops, looks like the flash failed. Awesome. Well, when we get to the flashing section, I might just try, we have two options. I can try to find another, you know what? I've got another micro SD card adapter here. So while we're doing this, let me just plug this in. Then you ask how much it is cash and get surprised. Yeah. I feel like I can probably order a thumb splint on Amazon for 20 bucks or something like that. I mean, it doesn't look, I ordered, I have these like compression mitts that I use occasionally when my wrists are hurting from, wait, it says flash fail, but it sure looks like it didn't. Let's try it. All right, let's try it one more time. Flash from file, you. Okay, so this is with a different adapter. So let's see if the adapter was what was giving us issues. Okay, cool. So we got that. That's installed. Next we need an M412 button head screw. I'm just gonna throw out most of these little baggies. The screws aren't in them anymore. They've all fallen out over my floor. Try another SD card reader. Yeah, I did. That's what I'm doing right now. It's still a crappy SD card reader. The next step is I do have another micro SD card right here, so we could try that. And then if that doesn't work, I'm just like, sorry, folks. No, I'll try my. These are M4s. I'll try my Mac after that because I think I've just had, if I remember correctly. Ooh, thunder. Metal and wrap is a temporary splint. Yeah, which I think is all I probably need. Is it? Oh, these are M5. Why is there M4 and M5 mixed together? Did I not organize things well last time? It seems like something I would do. So these, let's keep these out. These are M5. We're looking for M4s. Okay, this looks like this is okay. Apparently nothing is organized anymore. These say M3, these say M4. So this is an M4x8. What are we looking for again? An M412. M4. Oh, we got our M4 nuts, so that's good. M440s, M410s, M410s. Everything but what we need. M5. M48, M48. I don't understand. It seems like the M5 and M4 stuff all got mixed up. So let's double check this bag. It's not in there. This is what I had hoped to do before the stream, was get hardware organized. But like I said, I figured that having We can try an M410 and see if that works. Having a TV that worked so I could actually see chat and see what was going on with the stream seemed more important. Okay, will this work or no? It might work. Wow, that's some serious thunder. Okay, I think this will work. So this is going where? Secure the assembly to the inside left side of the frame. So it looks like it wants us to install this somewhere about here. Yeah, it looks like approximately. Let me make sure I've got the right driver too. Seems like that's working. It doesn't exactly say the height. I don't know. Maybe we'll just approximate it and I can always adjust this later. Cool, it does look like our slightly smaller bolt is working fine. It's probably plenty tight. There we go. So we got our camera. And yeah, I can just, if it ends up being too high or too low, it's just one screw to adjust it. So that'll be easy enough. Route the USB cable up from under the base and connect it to the camera, which I did do already. Route the USB cable up from the base. To avoid potential camera feed issues, we'll take a few precautionary steps. Ensure the connector is securely mounted and cable tie it. Wait. Ensure the connector is securely mounted and cable is free of kinks, especially in the where the cable is shielded but interface route it in the opposite side of the extension from the motor cable. Okay, so it looks like it just wants us to take this wire and kind of throw it over the inside of this, like this. I think it's gonna go down. Hopefully there's a better way to maybe just over the back of this like that. It's probably safe. I don't know, we'll figure that out I guess a little bit later. Yeah, the instructions don't really say. They just show what we just did and then it kind of goes back towards this side, so we'll see. This is taking a lot longer to flash. I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but oh wait, no, it's validating. Oops. Okay, so it's not taking longer, it's just validating. Fingers crossed, everybody. Okay, now motor cables. Plug in the gantry motor cables. So we have got hopefully 4 of these. 1, 2, I see 3 cables. That is not the correct number of cables. Is there one more? Maybe. Interesting. So I've got the 4 cables that. That's interesting. I don't think I would have misplaced an entire motor cable. Unless, you know what? I'm being a goofball. These three motor cables are for the extruder motors. So we're supposed to use, got it. We're supposed to use the ones that were included with the motors. Okay. Makes me feel a little bit better. I was like, I don't think I would have misplaced motor cable. Doesn't seem like something I would do. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like the cables just go like this. Nope, that's the wrong side, right? Yeah, wrong side. Okay, so it goes like that. And it looks like it just basically is going to get fed down the inside of here. And there's a little, there is a little corner piece right there, or cutout. So we'll feed the other end through here. And then it says that there are included, these are twisted cables. It does say the cables to use, so there should be an included cover, like slot cover. So let's start by just kind of feeding this into here. There we go. So just go like this. Okay, let me see if I can find those covers. Yes. Looks like they're kind of already pre-cut to size, so this is the size we have to work with. They do not slide, so I should probably start at the bottom here. We might actually have to cut them a little bit. They seem a little bit long. Yeah, so we'll end up cutting this probably. Actually, it works. Cool. All right, 1 down, 3 more to go. Let me turn this. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw, but I did see today that the LDO Stealth Changer kits are on pre-order. So for anyone that's been interested in that, those are available. Hey, PC. Interesting, because they're not. Okay, so there's not a corner slot in the front because of the motor. So does it say? It does not say. Okay, I'm just gonna guess. There's 2 holes. We're gonna go with the one on the side here. Okay. And it looks like. There we go. Trying to leave a little bit of slack. I don't know how, I have no idea how tight things are going to be underneath here as far as cable wires go. And then we will rotate this again. It's going to be a little tricky to get the motor cables on this side, I just realized, because it had me put the panel on. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I can feed it through. think I can. If I go like this, yeah, we can do it. This will go like this. What a cool summer storm. Yeah, it's been, it has been a very thunderous morning, which I'm a big fan of thunder and lightning. We got it occasionally in Southern California, but it's way different here. It just like, oh, yeah, it's way different than what I'm used to. It was just a lot less frequent. Well, I mean, not like we get them all the time here, but more common. And they're longer and they're louder. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I'm trying to see if I can grab the cable because I need to pull it through. It doesn't seem like it's... It doesn't seem like it, so let's lift this up and pull it through. Okay. Thunder is fine until you lost electricity. Were you? Oh, yeah. I was doing a stream. I want to say it was on the Prusa Mark IV, and I don't know where Aaron and Jackson were. I think that they were either in California. Oh, spooky. I think that they were in California or Arizona, and I was like all excited about the thunder here, and then all of a sudden it sounded like the house was being ripped apart, and I lost everybody and had no power for a while. Knock on wood, that is the only time it's happened so far, but yeah, the storm took out something something with the electricity in the whole area, so I had no power for a while. This is a little awkward just because I have to reach from the front versus the side. This is probably one of Jackson's first storms, at least that I recall, like this, and he seems to be doing pretty good. He was like looking out the window, kind of excited. Oh, come on, bud. There we go. Okay. That one is through. It looks like there's plenty of slack on it. So we've got one last one to do. I'm just going to change the camera angle. Oh, you lost me. I don't know why, actually. Nothing unplugged. There we go. Started early? Yeah. Yep, hey Tuxedo. We've got to get to the car dealership by 2:30, which means we have to leave here by 2. And normally the stream start at noon till 3 when we do like a 3-hour block. So I didn't want to stream less than 2 hours. So that's the main reason we started it early today. I didn't realize that until yesterday, so it's kind of a last minute change. Sorry about that. If for some reason you guys do lose me, it is because of the storm that's going on outside, but hopefully that's not the case. It seemed like it had passed earlier, now it sounds like it's coming back because it is very loud outside right now. Okay, so let's shove this cable under here. Probably gonna have to lift it up again. Yep. Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh! Let's see if it worked. Nope. Nope, it failed. So, okay. One last attempt, and then I'm switching computers for flashing this. I'm just gonna do a different micro SD card. If it works. This is a new micro SD card, but this computer is just in general kind of fickle with reading micro SD cards. Let's see if it shows up. Nope, definitely don't want to flash that. Okay, it's not showing up yet, so we'll see. Hey Raj, talking about thunder, looks like some are getting close to me. At least it'll get less hot. Yeah, it has been like mid 90s here, which feels like California weather. How do I not tangle this? Let's see. Where are you out of, Glock? Are you in the States? Yeah, this one's the most awkward of them all. Okay. Trying to give you guys a decent angle and I'm going in blind. I don't know if this was the right move. I should have probably just done this and not shown it since you've already seen me do the other three. Let's see if I look at it from the side. Okay, so part of my issue is actually this camera cable. It is in the way, so let's see. Can I lift you up and over? That might help. I might need to completely pull the camera cable out, actually. We like being part of the struggle. What struggle? There's no struggles here. All the struggles. Okay, there we go. No! Why are you popping out? Okay, I guess there is struggles. All the rest of these went in fine. It's just this last one. Okay, I think I got it. I think I just got it. Yes! Well, it's a little fat right here. Can't actually get my fingers there to chin it. That should be probably fine. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, there's not really an easy way for me to compress this. Let me make sure. Oh, okay, that's the reason why. It's because it's sort of pinched on the wire. Judging by the state of the build, it looks like I missed a lot. You were here last week, right? You were definitely here last week. So no, I did some stuff off stream, mainly doing the wiring for the tool heads and getting them mounted. Well, I guess I didn't fully wire them. They're ran down to the... Okay, I'm going to call this good enough, guys. I don't think I need to... It's bugging me right this second because I'm looking at it and there's a tiny little bulge there, but it's probably fine. Yeah, the main things I did was get the pins in, so I'll show you from a different angle in a second, Tuxedo. Let me just run this cable through here. I think it needs to go behind this, maybe. And then through here, it doesn't fit. I could run it through the same hole. I think I might run it through the same... No, it's not fitting, so let's try. I actually wonder if... I was supposed to feed this cable in the channel as well. That kind of makes a lot more sense to me, now that I'm thinking about this. I just wish it had me do this before I put the panel on. Well, I guess I couldn't have, right? I guess I couldn't have. I had to feed the wire through, but I could have just dangled the wire out here. It's just this corner here is pretty tricky to reach. But now that I'm thinking about it, I do feel like having... Yeah, I can't even get this USB cable. What is going on here? Okay, so something tells me I might need to route... I might need to route the USB cable. It doesn't fit it just does not fit through either of these slots. So I think I need to unplug this. Then I can feed this up. And I will go through the same hole, so let's do this. A little bit more instruction on this part would not be a bad thing. Okay, so now our cable is through. Now I can feed it through right here and plug it in. Make sure what pins, looks like the pins are that direction, so it should go like this. Maybe pins are on this side. There we go. Okay, so that's installed. But yeah, I'm thinking that I might need to redo that cable tie because something tells me that this is probably supposed to go through here, so it's not loose floating. So I'm gonna turn it so I have better view this time, because it's still gonna be tricky now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I don't have great view no matter what I do. Yeah, I'm really not gonna have a good view no matter what I do. Okay, I'm gonna change the camera to front for a second here. Hi everybody. And then let me see, I had to turn the hat around because it was poking the frame. So I'm gonna pop off this cover again and see if it's even possible to run both the motor cable and the camera cable in the channel. Super awkward. I don't think I can do this. Not with the cover on. It does look like I can probably get them both in. Yeah, we can both get in. I'm just not going to be able to probably run it quite as high. Try one more time. Oh. I think I got it. It's like, it's quite hey Reverend, Bonbon has been the peekaboo. Okay, I think I got it. Excuse me, I'll show you. The only issue is I have more slack than I would like, and I have no idea. Hopefully that means I'll still have enough length to reach the controller. I don't know where it is in relation to our map, but like you can see right here, there's a bit more slack than on the other motors. And I have no idea whether that is going to be an issue or how much space they give. It's already popping out up top, probably because I was trying to pull on it. But yeah, it does fit in the camera USB cable and the motor cable, but it doesn't want to fit in. It's definitely at the max capacity of what can fit in here. And I'm not even sure if the camera cable is supposed to go in there, but it just feels like if not there, then I'd have to run it on the front side here, which doesn't seem right either. So let's just leave that as is. I don't imagine it'll pop out on its own as long as I'm not pulling on the cable. So once it's plugged in and kind of fastened, it should be fine. But we'll see. Part 7. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it's been already. Did it pop up? No, it still didn't. So. Okay, plug in the CAN Dream over cables, yes. Cable covers, awesome. Tool carriage and printheads. Lay the printer on the front now to gain access to electronics. Feed the tool carriage cable loom in the base and use cable ties. Wait. Feed the tool cable loom. Okay, I think I've already done that. So let's flip this thing. I don't know what this... Where's this limit switch cable supposed to go? Something tells me there's one more thing we might need to redo because it didn't mention it, but I'll show you guys with the camera over here. Yeah, I wish the wiring had a little bit more details. So we have our, what is this, our X? It's hard to tell what's X and Y because of the orientation of this, but looking at the front of the printer, it'd be the X direction. This limit switch right here doesn't, right now it's just sitting over the belt, which obviously isn't right. And there's been no mention of where to run it, like down the backside. So because of its location, I'm kind of making the assumption it also needs to go downwards. That probably is correct. I don't know, actually. Where the hell is this supposed to go? There's no hole for it to pop out the back. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this also is supposed to get ran down this motor channel section. So this one should be easier. If we did it with the USB cable, I feel confident that I can do it with this. So I just don't want it to rub. I don't want it to rub on the belts, which it probably won't. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So let's just run this down through the same corner. But this is like, it would have been nice to have a little call out, like, hey, for back right corner, make sure you run the limit switch. For front left corner, make sure you run the camera cable versus, you know, it says do the motors, but then you're like, wait a minute, I've got cables that are sticking out. So I'll make the recommendation. I haven't made a recommendation in a couple of streams, and this feels like one that it's just a small, relatively small detail, but would be appreciated. Hey, Skydown. You going to Murph this year? Okay, yeah, we'll leave it like that. That was a lot easier than our buddy in the front here, the camera cable. Okay, so now it's saying lay the printer front side down, which is what I thought we were gonna have to do in order to, Tuxedo, let me show you, really quickly the sort of dock setup that we got in before I lay it down. So yeah, if I remember correctly on stream, we basically had gotten the tool heads done. I think I was maybe cleaning up wiring a little bit on the tool heads, but they weren't connected, like the long cables weren't connected. So the main things I did after stream was mount the standoff pins. I know you can't see that very well because of my picture, but there's just 2 pins here as well as a magnet that attaches to the metal housing and secures it in place. And then these are just, you can hardly see these. There you can see this one better. These are just little silicone guys, and I don't know if they're, I mean, they're definitely to catch and keep filament from oozing. I don't know if they're also going to have like a macro to wipe, but they're just basically got the parking spots set up. And then I also, where are we not sliding back on? There we go. I also got the cables. I can just lift like this. All this stuff squared away as best as I could. So these are like little nylon guides. That's the word I couldn't think of earlier. Along with the harness for the USB cables and then the PTFE tube. I am not, unfortunately. I would love to go, but we are we're like, I think we're right in third trimester at this point, and we don't have any family here right now. My parents are back in California and then traveling to Europe and stuff, so like it's just myself, Aaron, and Jack, and I'm just not doing any additional traveling that I don't like, that isn't required. Like, I'm going to LBX for Lightburn in July for just a fairly quick turnaround. But aside from that, I'm staying here just in case she needs me. Jackson was a month early, and we don't know what to expect. And then once baby's here, it's just gonna be an all hands on deck situation. So this is as far as this cable goes. Wild. Okay. I might turn this a little bit just to give us slightly better lighting. How does that work? That looks a little bit better, right? Kind of. A lot of cable action going on down here, and it's only going to get more cabley in a moment. Okay. So Toolhead, this is the main Toolhead carriage right here. How about making a trip to Portland, Oregon for Vice in October? Oh, they're doing another Vice? Steve hasn't even told me about that. But Steve, we've been meaning to catch up for weeks now, and I've had just one thing after another come up. So we're supposed to hop on a call tomorrow, and I imagine he was probably going to mention it. I doubt it. I really doubt it. I don't think my parents will be back yet, and baby's due first week of September, so we're gonna have a 1-month-old and Jackson as well. So I doubt it. I really doubt it. 50 cables from the print head. Okay. Ready probe to USB port. So the first thing we need to do is, so for the Toolhead cables, this is a really long cable here. So we're gonna plug, it looks like it's telling us to plug it into the center. So we'll just grab maybe the bottom port. Does it matter? No, they all look like the USB 2.0s. Plus this is also a USB 2.0, so that's here. This is a lot of extra cable that I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with. So we've got that. What is all the rest of this rat's nest? Okay. What else is there? So the filter fan. So the issue I'm going to have right now is I don't know what's the part cooling fan and what's the filter fan. I think they have the same cables. These are all, yeah, so we have two fans. Let's see, can I pull on this? What happens if I pull on this? Nothing happens because it's all secured, so I don't know. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make some assumptions here, and that might not work out in my favor, but the longer cable, no, I have no idea actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, we'll just roll the dice. We'll have to check the part cooling fan. I don't have, you know what? I might have a DC power supply, and if that's the case, we can just, or you know what? Even better. I can use my multimeter and check for continuity on the extension cable that I have for the, oops, dropping stuff. So let's do this. Let's go, little continuity tester. And we've got So let me just grab this guy, shove this in here. So... Hey LSC, how's it going? Hold on, I'm gonna untangle these. Hey Clown. I'm planning to try getting device maybe Saturday. Okay, so we've got this hooked up, at least connected to one of these. Here's my other. Why are these cables so... I guess I do twist them when I put them away. Yeah, you're still in Florida, right, LSC? Okay, let's try that. I could use another hand right about now. I could really use another hand right about now. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna just here. Hi everybody. It's easier since we're not actually able to see anything. So let's do the red cable. There we go. So this guy is the extension, which is going to be for the case. Here, make this bigger. This isn't the biggest image in the world. I wonder if... There we go. Okay, so this is what I have in my hand, and this is going... It's kind of hard to see. But it looks like it's going lower. So the fume extension cable, is orientation correct? It is going into the lower one, which is going to be, looks like right underneath. Looks like it's right underneath this one. So let's plug you in here. Okay. And then back to this view and our other two. This is going to be our CPAP cooling, which is going in right here. That, okay. I got a few more cables here. Limit switch is going to be our 3. That's this one, the one I just ran through. Wait, no, limit switch. Wait, yeah. No, end stop should be a black and a red cable. Why am I? Oh, here we go. Here's the limit switch. So this guy is going at the very bottom. It looks like it is the farthest. I realize you guys can't really see the details on the connectors and stuff, so looks like it's going there. No, it's not. Y end stop is... It's this one. There we go. So center top. And then servo wire, we have a few different wires coming off of this. So one of them is going to the one that I just had the limit switch in, which is here. Let me turn this a little bit more and focus a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this looks like it's going underneath here. Like that. So yeah, bottom left. Okay. And then the other two wires coming off of the servo are going into the buck converter. So let's get a small screwdriver. I just had these screwdrivers a second ago before the stream because these are what I used to install my TV mount to get the TV up on the wall. So they must be... Nope, must be is a scary word. Okay, I see one right here. gonna have to spend some more time on cable management, which is gonna be trickier if I don't do it right now, because once we install the screen, I won't be able to flip this thing over quite as easily. That's kind of an understatement. It's gonna be very difficult to flip this thing over once I get the screen installed. I'm on the phone, so no tag. Hey, Jose. Let me back you guys off a little bit. Okay, let's do a little more turn. It's probably plenty tight. Then we got this guy, just going right next to it. Bam. Okay. I think that's all of our toolhead wires. We've got USB going into Pi. We've got fan. We've got fan. We've got servo, and we've got limit switch. So this guy definitely needs, well, he has an anchor point, but I'm probably gonna need another anchor point. I think what I'll do actually is unplug the USB cable and shove this underneath it. Yeah, that's probably fine. That'll kind of hold it in place. Let's move it a little bit further out. Yeah, that kind of helps. But yeah, all this USB cable absolutely needs to be like routed around the outside of the case differently, because it's really long. Hey, Deanna. Okay. Let's just do a quick overview of this one more time to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I've got those two cables. We checked for continuity. I verified Y end stop is in the top center of the 3-pin. Servo, we've got one in the bottom left of the 3. The other 2 are going in there, and Eddie is going into there. So that looks correct. Okay, now we've got print head wiring. What I don't know, so this is mounted, this is mounted, this is mounted, this is mounted, this is mounted. These are not mounted, and this is not mounted. Is there any instruction? Use the cable tie mounts and cable ties to hold everything together. But how are these attached? When securing the cable ties mount for the USB, ensure they are spaced so the cable, does it just want us to use cable ties to hold it in place? It kind of seems like that. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Does it matter? All right, let's just start. We'll figure this out as we go. All right, one board. Two boards. 3 boards. I'm imagining it doesn't matter which toolhead we plug into which, probably, because I assume we can just assign the values later. So for right this second, let's just get this and plug you in. It looks like this is the orientation. Nope. This is the orientation. Okay. Okay. And then like that. Now there should be Yes. Power cables for all of these. And it looks like we're going to be piggybacking all of our wires, because I'm just looking and like all of our 24-volt wires basically are already taken. So we are just going to be dual stacking them because that's what we have to do, it looks like. So Zombie, how's it going, man? Yeah, the wiring is getting a little bonkers. I was kind of happy with how I had the wiring all set up prior to running all the tool heads, and now I'm just like, whew. It's gonna... I might have to print out some of Steve's of these little like zip tie VHB anchors, because I don't think we're gonna have enough. We've already used quite a bit, and we're gonna need this whole area down here that's got a little bit of an opening is no longer gonna have an opening. All the cables are gonna have to be routed there. Okay, so all of our 24-volt cables are plugged in. So yeah, I'm basically gonna have to just unscrew all these 24-volt wires. And why are we not getting in focus? There we go. So I'm just gonna unscrew all these and basically dual stack them because that's what the instructions say, and that's what we've got. So let me take a quick sip of water here. Interesting way you're cable managing. Yeah, well, there's not a whole lot of any direction as far as how to do cable management other than use the included like VHB cable tie, zip tie thing. So that's what I did, and it was looking okay. Like if you picture this, I mean, it's still a little chaotic, right? But like picture this without this and without the cables down below, like it worked. But now that we're adding all of these, you know, 6 more cables, I'm not exactly sure how this is all gonna work. So I mean, as much as I would like it to look prettier, as long as it all stays in place and like Zombie said, the cover goes on, I can live with it, I suppose. But I don't know if there's probably not space to run raceways down here, and that's why they didn't go the raceway route. So I'm not really upset that there's not raceways. There's a lot going on. Giveaway will open in 45 minutes. So yeah, and it looks like, just one more time looking at the wiring, so they just have it set up where we go farthest out, just work from out to in is what they have it set up as. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, as far as getting these boards to reach from where they come in, it's gonna be a tight fit. Jackson is up and crying again, which means he did not nap. It's gonna be fun at the dealership. It's gonna be fun. Well, this one will be easy because it's just a single wire. Three hours. 3 hours from now. Okay, one in. That was that one. Now I'm doing this one. All of these. Let's see. It would be nice if there was a separate hub that all these went into, and then it was a single wire that went into the power supply. That would be my preference. Okay, that one's in. Let's get this ground cable in. Wait, here. Probably need to loosen this up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, that's 2 in. Yeah, I have to think a little bit about how I want to route these. I didn't really, I'm not sure if I'll get as far as I wanted to today. I didn't realize, I should have realized, but I didn't realize just how much time it was probably going to take to get all this wired correctly. Okay. There we go. Oh. Okay. Oh, we've got all of our wires in. So these 4 are double stacked. These 2 are not. And yeah, routing these is going to be interesting. Like how probably we'll shove them all down here. But then they don't have the length exactly to get in a position how like the image shows. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, y'all. And then the other thing is, I remember last week saying that I thought that I was short a USB-C cable from one of the Nighthawk kits. And I think that that still holds true, but if that's the case, I'll do one last little pass here. I do have a Nighthawk kit that never got used, which was... Oh, nope, I'm wrong. Ignore me. I found it right now. So, undo cable. Undo cable. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of a rat's nest. So I'm just gonna plug USB-C end into all of these little Nighthawk boards. And then we've got our, should have, Is it in here? Oh, here it is. It's in a box. That's why. And people say I make cable mess. I would love to know. No, like, seriously. I would love to know how you would clean up these wires without using a cable raceway and just using cable ties. Like, how would you clean them up? I don't really know. Like, other than, like, if I manually went in and, like, shortened and recrimped a bunch of them, that would lose a bunch of slack, which could be done, but that is quite tedious. I don't really know what all, there's a bunch of extra slack and a bunch of cables and just cable ties, so I don't really know what all could be done to make this look pretty. I'd love to know. I would love to know how Steve would do it without like cutting and recrimping. I'd love to know how Steve would clean this up. Yeah, it's a mess. it is the most chaotic build as far as wiring goes. Like the rest of it has not been bad at all, but the wiring is chaotic. I haven't checked on Nero's stream to see like how he did the wiring. Does his wiring look pretty? Oops. Expandable loom. You mean like one of like a full wire loom that you would shove everything through? The thing I don't like about that is it makes replacing things a pain in the butt. You just turn the printer around so we couldn't see it. Nice. Yeah, it's chaos. It is chaos. All right, so we got everything plugged into here, everything plugged into here, and everything plugged into here, and then this plugged into here. So I think that's it. Tidying the cables, and then Z motor. That's right, we still have more cables. The Z cables. Oh, that's okay. That's where those 3 cables came from I saw earlier. Not from, yeah, that's right. Not from the extruder motors. So yeah, these, I mean, these are full-size cables here, guys. And we don't need to go very far. So I'm just like, is it worth stopping right now, doing some cable management, and then doing motor cables, or doing motor cables, then just, you know? I think that once all the wires are in, if I were to cut all the cable ties, remove all of these little VHB attachment points, and restart over, I could probably clean things up more. But the fact that I've already got so much of it mounted, I just don't know. Let's see how many more of those cable tie things we have. I don't think we even have a whole lot. I'm down to I'm down to 6. Yeah, it's at least 20 too few. Okay, let's think a little bit here. It's not going to look pretty. Once everything's working and the cover's on, I will only go down here if absolutely necessary. Let's give it a little, I can't even really give it slack. We don't have slack. I can zip tie one on the actual, I don't know if I like that idea though. So we definitely need one down here. I can possibly, yeah, there's just not a whole lot. Do all the cabling first and management last. Yeah, I'm gonna have to print, the reality is I'm gonna have to print out some like printed zip tie holders, because with 6 left, there's just no way for all the motors and the Nighthawk, which needs at least 2 to hold the USB thing in place, as well as all these boards. Is there not? Also, I don't think that there's... Yeah, looking at this, these are just zip tied to these guys. So I need at least 3 for that and 2 for the other ones. So I'm basically out of anchor points. I've got 1 to spare. So yeah, let's get the motors. Let's get the motor situation figured out. I'm really tempted to revisit the electronics bay on this, but okay. side view. This is a masterpiece. Okay. I know you don't see it and you think that it looks messy or chaotic, but this is organized. Okay. All right. So we are plugging in the one end of our Z motors. I would love, I wonder if Nero will send me a photo of his bay. I just want to see it. It has to look like mine. If it's organized, I would be blown away. Like, I'd love to know what was done to make it organized. All right, so this one needs to go, just gonna go under stuff. Okay, so this one is connecting, it looks like, at the very end. But on a serious note, like, if I wanted to make this look as pretty as possible and time was of no concern, I was willing to take as much time as possible, what I would do is start by recrimping most of this stuff. Once I know exactly where it needs to go, like, I would cut off like all this. I mean, maybe not all of this. I'd figure out how I'm gonna route it nicer, but I'd cut off like every single cable, repin them, recable them, and figure out the best way to route them. I would entertain using some cable raceways where I could fit them. Like, one small one could fit here, one could probably fit up here, one down here. Like, I would do those things, but I'm not. I'm telling you right now, this is not happening. Hey Liz, happy Wednesday. Nice, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, buddy. Cheers, man. But yeah, if like that's what you wanted to do, you could certainly clean it up. And I will say, like, I do think that I will provide some feedback and just say, hey, that the cabling on this is chaotic, and I understand there's only so much that can be done, but I would really consider maybe a different approach with some of the wiring. I don't know. I'll mention something. Okay, so the next one is the top one. And this one is going... Smash the like for the cleanest... Yeah, smash the like button for the cleanest cable management on this side of the Mississippi. Or that you've ever seen on this side of the globe. This is going here. I'll at least run these under the cables to try to use the cables that are already anchored in place to hold it. Okay, so this, it looks like, is right here in the next one, and then we skip the next port. And this guy is just going right up. Like, I mean, this cable, this motor cable could be one fourth of the size and fit easily. So yeah, we're skipping one, and then it's going into right here, like so. What I just realized is I don't know that we have enough. Are we? We have 4 motors, and this is 2, so we must be installing them together. None of the videos I've seen with this build had nice looking wiring. The best was just a bunch of wire bundles. Yeah, got it. Okay, so there is... Okay, there, yeah, this makes sense. Gantry motors. So where are those cables? I'm sure they're here. It's just finding these things. So this is our servo. This is our, we have another fan. What is this fan for? Is this an electronics fan? No, this is our, okay, we haven't installed our, we have not installed our carbon filter. So that is a carbon filter fan. Where are these wires? Here they are. Okay. Okay, so we need, yes, so diagonal motors are going together. So we will, no, okay, no, this might work. We might have, yeah, I think we'll have like exactly enough distance on this one. So let's just, we're just going, I don't know that I like going underneath all the power wires with this, but we are doing it because I don't have a lot of slack, so it needs to be a pretty direct shot. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's this one, and then here is the diagonal that is going to hook up with it. Okay. These ones are going like this. There's one, there's two, and it looks like this one is going in the top port. Tough to see. Okay, there we go. And then the other one. No, I'm aware. Nice. I'm aware. I just don't, at this point, really know what to do with what I've got. Like, off stream, I guess, if I wanted to, I can start over. But I don't have any interest in cutting and recrimping wires. Like, I'm just not, it's not, I really don't like the process of cutting and recrimping wires. And there's so many, like, just the motor wires alone is what, 4, 8, 12, 16 plus 12, that's 28. Look at 28 just with the motor wires. So I'm not interested in that, and I don't think I have extra cable raceways. So I am going to be limited to basically zip tying things to the base, but I could try to figure out a way to do that cleaner. I just don't know, like, the concern is going and doing all that and it's still looking like chaos, which is kind of what I think would happen. There's just so many wires and they're really long. Oh, man, this one's gonna be a little bit tighter. Hopefully I've got enough distance with this extension cable. I don't know what this guy is. There's another cable that we'll have to use at some point. Hey GPs, we're doing an example of clean cable management. So if you want to take some notes, I don't know, just get some inspiration. That's what we're doing here today. All right, it does fit. It does fit. Cool. All right, the last thing is the limit switch that I fed through, which is, it came through this hole right here. Come on, buddy. Come on. I know you can fit through here. I got a bigger cable through here. There we go. So clean, so mean. Hey Marcel, I don't think I said hi. I'm not sure when you came in. All right, look at that. Look at that. A little sneakeroo around the side. Okay, and this one is going where? It looks like top right. So right here. All right, look at that. Slap a... Hold on, you need a sound effect for this.
That was easy.
We're not in a rush. This is such rewarding work, I think. Yeah, I would say, like, if you're building one machine and that's your machine, then I would take the... I've done it. I've absolutely done it. Taken the time and shortened everything and routed everything. But it's like, how much time do I want to spend on this? Like, if everyone just wanted to have a long stream where all we do is cut and shorten wires, we could do that, I suppose. But I don't think that's that's why I don't like the idea of fixed mounting holes for the components. Adjusting din rails gives the builder so much more flexibility. Yeah, no, I no arguments there. No arguments from me there. Okay, in my defense, all right, in my defense, this is our example, right? Like, I get that actually looks better than what I've got. I will admit that, but like at least give me some credit, right? It isn't like the example is it isn't like the example is this beautiful wire nest. Like it's chaos, right? Can we I just use cable channels where I stuff in the extra wires, only about 2 to 3 inches pieces done, easy access. No, I agree, LSC. I really don't think I have any cable raceways, because like pretty much all the ones I've ever gotten, as far as I can recall, have been for, you know, like with a kit, and so they always get used up. There's one spot I can think of where if I was a cable raceway that was left over, I might stash myself, but no, I don't. Oh, ooh, hold up, hold that thought. Okay, these are monster cable raceways. I don't know whether we even will have enough. I don't even know if these will freaking fit. I don't know what I use these for. Hold on. I found a smaller one with no cover, which isn't ideal. I mean, you could print cable raceways though, right? I don't know how, is anyone using printed ones that can vouch on ones that actually work well? Because that I could do. We do have printers here. We've got shortages of a lot of things here, but printers and filament is not one of those things. Yeah, so I did find some. Unfortunately, the one that's the size I would like to use is missing its cover. Not your fault, Daniel. And said it already. So again, I appreciate it. Yeah, I just want to let people know, like, although I'm no Steve when it comes to cable management by any means, and I've got a lot of respect for the amount of time and energy and detail that he puts into organizing things. I typically do at least try. But yeah, I found these, which are really large, although these still could work, possibly. It does look like, come on. It does look like, nope, it won't fit there. I'm just trying to see like if I can show it up against the, here, let's try it like right here. These are almost, I don't know if I'd want to use these actually here. No, they would fit. These would fit. They're quite large, which might not be the worst thing ever, just considering how much wire there is. Yeah, they're really chunky. Yeah, my main thought, like, I still think a lot of it's going to be chaos, right? Like, I don't think there's much I can do about that, but just looking around, right? Like, there's space. Man, I wish I could get you guys a better... I can't go any further back because the HDMI cable's reached its max capacity, but there's a bunch of wires right here. And I do think that if I had, you know, remove this, had a cable raceway here, this would look tidier. I could probably shove another one, like, somewhere here. It would look funky, right? Because there'd be, like, raceways all over. But it could work. It really could work. Because I don't even, at this point, like, continuing with this, I don't know. I don't even have enough of the thing that we're supposed to use. Or that, you know, that's intended to use. So I don't know how I'd even get all this in here for the sake of continuing. Like, I feel that I have to do some stuff. But we could, I mean, we could cut some of these and start fitting them. I'm almost, like, this isn't what I had planned for today's stream. I wanted to flash firmwares and make more progress, but the reality is that we've got a lot of cables, and I don't really know how to proceed in this chaotic mess. Like, this, even mounting some of these things is going to be interesting. So I'm thinking that I might take a little bit of time here. Just slap the panel on and call it good. Really? That's what everyone thinks? Screw it. Alright, alright. We can do that, I suppose. So really the main things I need to get in here and mounted in place that I don't want just bouncing around. Why start cable management now? Well, what do you mean, GPs? What do you mean why start now? We're doing cables. That's why we'd start now. I don't know. I feel like I can't, there's no tone. Like, I don't get tone in messages. So I feel like we're already subscribed. Who are you trying to impress? All right, everyone. Okay, let's start by getting this USB thing mounted in, and it looks like it's just held in place with those little 3M things. So I guess I probably, hold on, where's their example? It kind of just looks like it's loosely dangling in this photo. Make sure it's spaced. So it looks like it basically wants me to run a zip tie from here around this and from here around this. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So let's do that, I suppose. Just cover with the bottom panel, it would be quicker. I want to, is there, I hope there is a bottom panel. Is there a bottom panel? I don't even know. I don't see mounting holes. I don't know that there's a panel. Is there a panel? I'm not convinced there's a panel. Okay, I'm just gonna shove this guy, like, I don't know, here maybe? Okay. And then the other one. Oh no, Steve showed up? Oh no, he didn't. Okay, I'll just use silicone. Steve's not looking. Yeah, I'm waiting for Steve to, maybe Steve did pop in chat earlier and was so disgusted by what he saw that he just bailed. Where I'm like confused as to where the bag with the rest of those guys has ended up. Oh, where are they? There they are. I was like, we couldn't have gone from 6 to none. It's just not gonna fly. We need to call Steve. Also, somebody screenshot this and send it to Steve. Steve's gonna text me, say I was having a great Wednesday till I saw your cable management. All right, so the other one does need to be placed. I guess I don't really understand even how they had theirs placed in the way that they had theirs placed, but we will just place it somewhere like that. Great. That's all she wrote. Okay, so let's feed these cables through here. What we lack in organization, we make up for in. Where you at? I feel like this piece could have had a mount, man. This little USB. Oh, the hell did I do? I didn't even run it. Okay, it's okay. I can unplug it. Yeah, I feel like this piece could have had a mount. And then, where is this cable? Why are you here? Jackson was here and saw this. He would say, "Gee whiz." That's been his word lately. Gee whiz. I don't know where he got it from, but it's appropriate in this situation. Okay. Just feels so weird to me zip tying it to USB cables like this. What do I know? I mean, it's not going anywhere. I don't think. Okay. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Steve here? No. Steve's just, thank you. Thank you, Maurice. All right, there we go. Now that all that's left is to zip tie the Nighthawk controllers. And I don't think there's a cover, and that is a bummer, because cover would help contain some of this chaos. I'm honestly like, I don't even know if I want to mount these right now. It's just to stick them to zip ties. I'm almost wanting to just but then again, it's like I don't see, like, once I get the screen on here, I'm not going to be able to tilt this thing over easily. So it's like, what's the play? I don't know what the play is right now. Use the cable ties. When securing the cable ties, ensure the spacing. Ensure there's space so the cable ties run between the ports on the hub. And then we move on to touchscreen. That's it. Yeah, there's no bottom panel, which makes it, which I have to spend more time on this, everyone. At the very least, I cannot have cables like going underneath it. It's gonna get snagged on something. So I have a feeling I'm just going to hack up the beefy raceways that I found and stick them in various places and use them to basically hide the slack as much as I possibly can. It's less of an aesthetic thing for me and more of a just I don't want to get this all set up and then have something get screwed up because of it, as far as it functioning. And it's really all that's left is screen and then firmware stuff. So unfortunately, I think that I'm gonna pause and just spend a little bit of time starting to play around with this, everyone. Like I said, it's not what I planned, but there's not, like, this is the time to do it. Once the screen's on, which is the next step, flipping this over, it is worth making sure it all turns on before cable management. Nothing's flashed yet. I mean, I could I could power it on if we just want to make sure nothing smokes. I'm not against plugging it in and making sure nothing smokes. SSR is missing some stuff. The bed wires are not here. Where's the bed wires? Oh, input. Interesting. Thank you, Maurice. Yeah, good catch. I think that the bed, I mean, since it's not plugged in, the bed just wouldn't have done anything, but where are the... Huh. I wonder when we were supposed to do that. Yeah, good catch, Maurice, because I think that that's something that should have already been done, and I didn't see it. So let's see. Gantry. Okay, so it's platform. Yeah, here we go. So there should be... Oh, okay. So it's just the... That's what those two little cables must have been for that I found. I'm assuming. These guys. Because this is plugging in... No. Okay, now I am confused. Because I have what looks like a thermistor plugged in here. But it can't be the thermistor. Okay, so let's just check this. The bed power cables, one of them should be going right here on the right side, and one should be going towards neutral, right? That's what it's showing. So I've got bed wires coming in here. One of them, which is this brown one, is ran to the right side, and the other one is ran to neutral. So that is correct as far as the bed wires go. This, if one's going to the bed, the other one should be going to live. So I've got This is the bed. Here's the other one. This one's going to live. So the top of this is correct. It's just the input to the board that's wrong. And I don't know, what did I plug in? So it looks like these skinny wires from the bed got plugged in there. And these should be thermistor wires. So that's what's wrong. I've got thermistor plugged in to where the signal wires should be for... Wait, but that also... I thought that normally the bed wires... I thought normally the bed signal wires went in over here, but I also haven't used this board. So that's what I that's what I mixed up. So thermistor comes down and plugs in 3 up from the left. So if I unplug this and I'm gonna cut this cable. I mean, I'm gonna be cutting most all of these cable ties, like I said, and probably switching to raceways. Okay, this guy needs, I need to cut all these cables that I have routed together. Even this one should get cut. Yeah, so this is going 3 up from the left. So that's what I did wrong. This goes here, and then that opens up this right here, which is our bed SSR signal wires, which then are going to be going down here, and it looks like I have just enough distance, and it looks like they just have it as wires. Ideally, I would like to have little fork or spade connectors. What's up, Mad Cat? Looks like the thermistor are on the lower left corner of the MCU. Yeah, yep, that's what it was. I guess when I was looking at this, I just saw thermistor and then a wire getting plugged in here and completely missed this. So, okay, let me get the giveaway open up. Let's take a pause from this. I've been like really pleased with pretty much everything about this build. It's the wiring, the electronics, which is the biggest thing. The only other machine I can think of that I built that was a similar situation was the V-Minion. Obviously less chaotic because there's a lot less going on, but I really enjoyed the V-Minion build, but the side box that they used for the electronics was just really, really rough and felt like an afterthought. And that's kind of the vibes I'm getting here with this, is that the wiring just feels like a bit of an afterthought. So let's see if I can find my little fork spade connectors. I'm sure it's fine to just use the bare, like, you know, the wire itself in this case, since it's just the signal wires, but since I should have them, I'd like to use them. Now I bought a bunch from, yeah, there they are. So I am actually getting kind of low on the smaller sized ones, but whoa. Okay. Gonna have to strip back a little bit more wire on these. Or ferrules. Well, ferrules wouldn't work for these guys, these screw down terminals. Okay. Yeah, spades are definitely what I would recommend using. I wish that these wires are not very, I don't know if these will work. There's a little bit of play, which I don't like. Are you putting... I'm not putting ferrules. Or ferrets. I'm not putting ferrets in my build. Yeah, these are not a big enough... Or the gauge of the wire is not gonna work with those. So I take back what I said. I am just gonna shove these under. And if I want to, I can do something with them later, but I'm not gonna hold this up when these are just the signal wires. I've used bare wire for power supplies before as well, so like not something I've never done. I did that for a long time actually before I got the right crimping tool. So if it was the AC wires, I would have crimped it. Fold the bare wire over before crimping. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, I could even do it with the bare wire. I think Steve, when I was doing a build with Steve, that's what we ended up doing on one. But I could probably do it with just the bare wire I've exposed, but I'm concerned about stripping much more back and doing it just because I don't have a lot of slack. But yeah, I could. That's not a bad idea, Tuxedo. Does this no, there's no cable channels. They use zip tie, like zip tie VHB things. Yeah, there's no cable raceways or bottom panel, which Steve would not like those things. Also, just as a reminder for anyone that wants to enter in, we are doing our Polymaker giveaway that will be drawn in about 25 minutes. So it looks like it's about 33 people that have entered in, so wanted to make sure I mentioned it in case you didn't hear it the first time. So, okay, those are in. Ground. I'm confident on these. All of our negatives, all of our positives. This is just jumped from the same input wires, so brown, we've got our live. White, well, one of our neutrals for our bed, another neutral. Ground as well is grounded to the same spot up here. Feel good about the AC stuff. Lots of negative, positive. That looks fine as well. Coming into the board here, I can't actually tell. That's negative, positive. I can't tell on this one. I should verify. What is this? What is this one? This is our 24 volts into our bed. I should verify that. SKR3EZ.
For the where's the benchy? Fun smiley face emoji.
Andrew, thank you very much for the donation. I think that's going to be going towards the cable raceway fund. I was able to find a few cable raceways. I'm basically like, I looked at the wiring that they showed like in their diagram, and honestly mine doesn't look that awful. I mean, like it's on par to what they've got shown there, but I'm going to start over with the wiring and add raceways where I can, a few of them, to just Basically, instead of having bunches of wires, just hide them at least, which is what I normally would do. Just, it'll look cleaner. And also, using these and less zip ties will make it easier when I have to actually come down here and work on things. I should have put down for cable management. Fun, yes. I need to call the cable raceway store and tell them I need all of them, all of the cable raceways. What was I looking up? Yeah, sketches. SKR, was it 3EZ pinout? Maybe not even pinout, but like wiring diagram. Let me make sure this is the right board before I start referencing it. It looks right. SKR3EZ, SKR3EZ. Okay, we are officially looking at the correct manual for the correct board, which is really important. Where is CNC? Oh, that's that. This is for a fan? Bed, DC in, HE0. Huh. It's a fan port. I'm also not seeing... Oh, voltage fan. Okay, so it does look like voltage should be on the outside, which is exactly right. Okay, I feel confident enough to be able to turn this thing, like, just to plug it in and make sure that there's no smoke. Hey, Moji, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. Look at my beautiful cable management, buddy. Maybe jumping ahead, but have you decided on what we're printing first? I haven't. Someone asked about that earlier. I have no... someone had mentioned the... Actually, it's funny. Someone had mentioned the cube that you had made, like the Maker cube, as one idea, or like the Maker token or coin. I have to find the file. I know I can find it in the Discord. I think you sent it over there, but I can't remember where I saved it locally on the computer. I'm doing pretty good, man. Just scratching my head. I thought that today we were just going to be like connecting the last few things and then flashing firmware, but I didn't realize just how much additional wire I was going to be dumping down here and not really having a place for it. And then the flashing has failed 3 times. So it's just like, it's just one of those days, right? Like when you have a stream or a build where, you know, it just, things don't go the way that are planned, which feels like it's more often than not. When you have a stream where things actually go well, it's you appreciate it a little bit more, or you wonder like what you're missing and what's going to go wrong that you're, you know, not catching. So a coin would be quicker on stream, yeah. And by fun we mean a pure nightmare. Looks good to me. Okay, so I think GPs had said maybe we should just plug it in and make sure that nothing smokes before you go through and you know, redo cable management or like put cable raceways in. And I'm not against that idea. I just did a quick check of AC and everything seems fine. Power input on the board seems fine, and everything else like was just me plugging in the things the way they were. So I feel like if I were to wager, I feel 90% good that when I plug this thing in, things will light up and nothing will smoke. 90%, that's where I'm at. And I think that's what we do right now. I think that's the play for what we're gonna do, is just plug this in. So I'm officially plugging in the cable. The power button is not pressed in. I also flashed my Pi 2 with the new OS bookworm. Oh, nice. Okay. So as long as this, you know, we don't even have our micro SD card flash, so there's nothing to really corrupt because that failed. So maybe it was foreshadowing. So I'm going to plug the power button, or press the power button to give everything power. We will stand here in the observation stance, which it's really funny. When I didn't realize that, like, I observe things with my hands behind my back like this. But when I was living with my buddy many years ago, he started like making fun of me, like just joking around, that like he said, you just look like kind of like an old guy just standing there, because I guess he'd come in my room, like walk by the room because I was renting out a room, and like just be looking like this, like with my hands behind my back, just staring at the first layer of my prints. And so that's the stance I need everybody. Just cable tell the wires here. Yeah, that's the that is the what I need everyone to do right now, is get ready. So all right, everyone, let's just see. Let's just see. All right, 3. Make sure the power cable is plugged in. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. I don't see smoke. I don't smell smoke. I see power. We've got power light for both of our power supplies. We've got power lights, or little RGB lights, on our drivers, which is good. We've got a light for power on the main controller. We've got a light for power on our Pi 2, our Makertech Pi 2. So I think we need a a little celebratory everything. So we could just slap zip ties on it, but like I said, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. I'm not saying that when I'm done with this, it's gonna look pretty. That is not my goal. But because of the fact that there is so much going on with this printer, and there's also not a bottom panel, which I don't love, especially because there was something down here that I thought stood out a bit higher. Maybe it was just the cables sticking up, but like I thought something stood larger, like stood up. I cannot talk. It's always the case on stream. That something was sticking up higher than the base panel, which is why the feet kind of needed to be there to elevate it. Which means that, like, if you were to slide it or have something that doesn't cover the full area of it, you could potentially hit things. I don't love that. I feel like there should be a panel on this. I don't always panel everything. My 2.4, don't let Steve know, but it still doesn't have a panel on it 2 years later. But yeah, in this case, it needs more cable management time, everybody. So Jack's in our bed, just FYI. Is he sleeping in our bed? Or is he just chilling in our bed? I imagine this is what my brain looks like. Oh my god. Hey, Benny. How's it going? The print in the background looks like flames on a printer. Oh. Yeah, it's this week's video is on the DXC extruder for the K1 series printers, and this is one of the test prints I did with it after installing it, just to make sure that it was working well, and it turned out really nice. And I did 0 tuning. I've just used basically the default Orca slicer profiles. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of a few of the prints. Here's another little samurai guy. I'll show you here. I'll do a little show and tell because we're just gonna be doing cable management. Little samurai guy that turned out pretty good. On close up, if I look, like, I'll zoom in, there's some bit of you can't even really see it, but like there's a little bit of sagging here and there just because I use tree supports and they probably could have been a little bit tighter or a little bit more compact, but it just kind of blew me away printing this. Like, not only just, wow, the extruder did a really good job and I was surprised that there wasn't really stringing on it, but the tree supports and like how far 3D printing has come. This model specifically got me thinking about it, and I've thought about it, you know, plenty of times over the years when I test out something and I'm like, wow, we've really come a long way. But I remember when I first started 3D printing, like I'm a big nerd. I love retro video games and stuff like that, and so I wanted to print a bunch of cool little characters and stuff to be able to put on display or in my room. And I remember printing a couple and telling myself never again, because the slicers and the extrusion and everything about 3D printing back then was so rough. Like, we didn't have tree supports. We didn't have like all of these different parameters and good settings to like get an interface layer in a place where you can actually remove it. So every time you use supports back then, it was like the supports were welded to your part. And it was, I remember plenty of times using a tool to try to remove supports, it slipping and like just gashing, like getting a gash in my hand. Like I despised supports back then. And so printing this just like made me think, I mean, especially like the sword. Yeah, so I'll show the sword. There's definitely some sag on the bottom side of it. But regardless, like this was supported by just tree supports in the air on an FDM printer. And like for anyone that's been printing for a long time, you I'm sure can appreciate that. But this model, I was one that I would have been I would have told someone there's no way I'm printing that on my printer just 8 years ago or something like that. It just blows my mind how far we've come. And I'm not just talking about hardware. Slicers are a huge, huge part of giving us the control we need to allow the printer to do its job and do it well. So I don't think we're using the eMMC down under. Unless it flashes the eMMC via micro SD card, but the kit comes with a 32 gigabyte micro SD card for the image, so that's what I plan on using. What printer did I use? That was on the Creality K1 Max. I installed the I don't have this is the prototype version. Well, not really prototype, like this is almost the final version that they had sent me originally. The one I use for the video is the final retail version, but this is basically it, just using a different manufacturing process, and they tweaked a few things on it. But the DXC extruder, it's really sweet. Like it uses two, it's hard to show, but yeah, so it's got two large gears and two like idler bearings, and so the amount of contact it makes with the filament is pretty crazy. And they're helical gears, which are supposed to help with not like basically like still giving a lot of bite or force into the material, but not digging into it unnecessarily. And then it uses this kind of floating arm mechanism where I guess technically you can adjust the tension. There is a screw, a little stiff screw there, and a screw here and a little stiff spring inside there. But I was basically told that the intent is that the user doesn't adjust the extruder, and that like from factory it'll just work with all of your basic rigid materials down to like 85A shore hardness TPU. If you were going softer than that, I don't know that this would be the best extruder for like the softest of soft TPUs, but I think that that's a pretty niche category of people that are 3D printing. But I did use it with rigid materials, and I did use it with 95A TPU, which I know is not the softest, and no changes, it just worked. So I just ordered it. Did you see my extruder's working fine? But I just figured I'd give it a try. Yeah, I like Cyclops a lot, and I'm actively editing this video. I'm gonna be probably spending 4 or 5 hours tonight editing that DXC video. But one of the things I cover from it in the beginning of the video is like, why did you guys create this when Cyclops exists? And my like, and I answer that in the video based off of the creator's perspective, or the creator's like thoughts as to why this was created when Cyclops exists. But my opinion is like, if you have Cyclops and it works well, I don't know how much gain you'll get from upgrading. I think that it makes a lot more sense for someone that's been having issues, couldn't get Cyclops working, or is using a stock extruder. But by all means, like I've upgraded printers that work fine because I'm just curious or want to use something else or see how it works. So, you know, you ordered it, it's fine. But I do in the video, like my sort of summary is that I really think that for someone that's been having issues with extrusion on their K1, it's definitely a really solid option. So the price on it is kind of varying, but the price point I say in the video is between $40 to $45. I did end up finding it for like $38 on AliExpress through FISEC, which from what I understand, they are an official reseller of DXC. So quite a bit cheaper than Cyclops. Cyclops, if I remember correctly, was like $60 to $65. And a big part of that was that it came with a fancy old box thing, but it came with a stepper motor as well, and that adds cost to it, an LDO stepper motor. Well, DXC just uses the stock 12-tooth stepper motor that comes on the K1, K1 Max, and K1C printers. So, not that you couldn't use it on other machines. It does have a bolting pattern that's specific to the K1 series of machines. So you would just have to basically create an adapter. But yeah, I think that for 40 to 45 bucks, like that's a pretty competitive price point. At least I feel like it's a pretty competitive price point. Yeah. Yep. It doesn't have the motor though. Like you are reusing the motor. So that would add cost. And it's also why partially they were able to shave it down. And the extruder is primarily injection molded, the body of it. And then it has like CNC parts for the tensioning arm, a little bit of like reinforcement on the front faceplate where the tensioning arm is. And then the thing that holds the idlers up against the gears are CNC'd as well. And the gears, it was made in collaboration with Fadis, which has their like special coating applied to the gears, which is really wear resistant. So it should do great for abrasives long term. But anyways, I can't keep talking about it. So I've been working on this week's video. You know, you gotta watch the video to get the rest of the details on it. Yeah, the motor, I don't think the motor is honestly that bad on the K1s. I want to say it's a Moon motor that it comes with, or Moon's motor. Okay, I'm powering this off, everyone. Powering it off. Unplugging this. Yeah, 45 seems about right. I did see, like I said, a few different places with different prices. Like on Fadis' website, I think they have it listed at 50. And I think I saw it. Yeah, 38 was the lowest I saw it at. So, okay, one more reminder that we are doing the Polymaker giveaway. I'm closing that in 7 to 8 minutes. Then we'll do the drawing. And then, honestly, I'm probably just going to call the stream even a little bit earlier today. Yeah, I'm probably just going to call a little bit earlier today. I had really good intentions for the progress I thought we were going to make on today's stream, which I typically always do. I always want to do well on the streams and make a lot of progress, but I just can't continue without doing some more stuff to the base of this. I think maybe I'll just start playing around with it. Pizza sounds so good. I'm quite hungry. I will actually, as soon as this stream is over, be going downstairs to make some burritos. So I think I'm just going to start by cutting cable ties. I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be for me to remove these little adhesive guys. I might need to use like a spatula or something to sort of pry at them, especially if they're actually using 3M. Not 3M, the VHB, like true VHB. Want to eat pizza with Jack in bed. Did Erin say what Jack was doing in our bed? Like, is he sleeping? I missed that. I saw her say, hold on, let me scroll up. Jack's in our bed, FYI. And then no response. I wonder if she's taking a nap as well. If you need help flashing the Pi 2, send me a DM. They can get hard depending on a few things. Did you see, though, down under that, like, I think that, unless I'm mistaken, and the way you flash the MCU, I'm sorry, the eMMC, is by just popping in the micro SD card and it, like, flashes it via that way. I'm planning on just using the micro SD card. Unless I can't get that working. Playing with sand. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so we'll do one here. See if I can get rid of these. Man, I might need... See if I can do it with my bamboo spatula. Just pry off these. Unless anybody's got some tips on how to get rid of the adhesive from these little... Oh, that works. It's not too bad. I think. Maybe I'm speaking... Ugh. Well, it's still there. I imagine I can roll it off. Compared to the LGX Lite, it's really cheap. Yeah, depending on what you compare it up against. I know that talking to the creator of it, like, his goal was to make it pretty dang affordable. Okay, now I think I just have to kind of like roll this with my finger to bunch the adhesive up. Once the eMMC is flashed, once the eMMC flash fails, shenanigans are needed to run from micro SD card too. Got it. So hopefully The eMMC is fine then, so I can just run it from the micro SD card. I've used both the micro SD and the toolkit in your PC. This is going to be a peeling session. My goal is to get this wiring into a place where you guys all look at it and we're like, okay, man. Like, I'm not going for like like the meme of sunglasses coming down with eyes open in awe. But if I can get you to look at this and be like, especially seeing how it is now, and be like, okay, you know, that'll make it worth it. Delilah. Try the direct USB cable and tool kit they provide. Worked fine for me upgrading the OS a few days ago. You mean flash the eMMC instead of doing micro SD card like I'm doing? I'm curious as to why they give you a micro SD card instead of having you do the eMMC chip if it has that. I wonder if there's any reason. I would think that eMMC would be the preference. Well, that got some of it off. Yeah, I've been Nikoi? Is it Neokoi? Neokoi. Oh my gosh, that's easy to say, but I'm saying it like a goof. Neokoi or Danny, I follow him on X or Twitter, and he built a, is it tap changer or stealth changer? They always confuse me, but yeah, I've been like following his shorts on that, and it looks awesome. He did such a good job with that build. Oh, you can okay, so you can flash it via SD card or direct. I've just done it with a PC. Got it. Yeah, maybe I'll try that then. A stealth changer, okay. Are both of those projects still really active, or did one of them sort of eat the other one and become the primary one people are building? I feel like that's a question for Zombie. He would know that. Okay. Here we go. So I am thinking maybe about there. These ones are a little bit trickier to cut. I don't really have great tools for this. I'm just gonna use flush cutters. Okay. See if this will fit.
Been a while, crocodile.
Hey, what's up, Millennium Machine? It's funny, I was literally just talking. So I don't know if you know, but, and also for everyone in chat, but Millmage Release Candidate 1 officially launched. I've had people, I posted in Discord, I didn't tag everyone because I didn't really want to be obnoxious, and I kind of just use that for when a video drops, but for anyone that has been asking, that's actually, seeing you here is a good reminder. For anyone that has been asking, that has a CNC machine, Millmage, which is like the sister software of Lightburn, the Release Candidate 1 for the CNC software went live yesterday. So everyone can play around with it. Yeah, if you have a CNC and you want to play around with that, I would totally do that. But yeah, I wanted to mention that. So seeing you, I was talking to one of my coworkers about Milo a bit yesterday, and just the controller, because it's just, I've got to get it going. But then the thing that came up was when it comes to aluminum chips, because that's like the main thing I'm going to want to use it for, is containing it all. And then it went down a rabbit hole of looking at Casa and was like, man, the footprint of Casa, how will I fit this? But it's a future problem. I do just need to get the board swapped, and I don't know. LDO had sent out the original board, but I also got Big Tree Tech sent out, I think it's the, I can't remember the name, Sila, is how you say it? I think I've got it right here. I don't know what's the better move. Yeah, Sila, Scylla B 1.0. Which now that you're here as well, with 1.0, I think there was an issue, wasn't there? If there was, then maybe that's my answer. I don't use it. If you rotate the top stepper 90 degrees counterclockwise, the cable will, if you rotate the top stepper 90 degrees counterclockwise, the cable will go out the way that way I'm pointing the direction it wants to go. Oh wait, you mean, oh, counterclockwise, yeah, so this way. I could do that. I don't know, it would make more sense to do that. I don't know if I will. It's pronounced Scylla? 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 Is it giveaway time? It is giveaway time. Okay, last warning. 60 seconds, and then I'll remove the giveaway link. We're gonna be giving away a spool of Polymaker filament in just a moment here. So 60 seconds to click on the link, and then I'll give you another 60 if you're actively filling it out. Yeah, I mean, even just like, you guys haven't been able to see this corner, I don't think, quite as much because it's been hidden by my face. But even just like this corner, having it in here, to me at least, it looks a little better. So I think I'll do one right here. I'll figure out maybe one a little bit lower here. So let's do it. Let's just do it. Let me put some BHB on here. Extra entry for the reminder. You got it. Wink. All right. What BHB do we want to use? I have some big BHB somewhere. It might be downstairs. So we'll just use. We'll use the slightly less aggressive stuff. This should be fine. Let's do like 3 small pieces or. I need 2, but I want 6. Wait, 6 what? What did I miss? Pre-order. We developed Silo with Beatrice specifically for Milo. Okay, sweet. So that's what I'll go with then. Do you know if there was issues with 1.0? Like I thought, like I'm having a flashback of hearing there was some boards that had an issue on 1.0, but I can't remember what it was. I think we'll do two pieces of VHB. Is that? Yeah, we'll do 2. Ah, it feels like overkill. Maybe just 1 down the center. Yeah, we'll just do 1 down the center. See how that goes. Oh. Some of the original Silo boards were shipped with 12-volt relays instead of 5-volt ones because of the way it's set up. It's not a danger. Okay, so it doesn't. So I'm good. No matter, like, it's fine. Or no, check the relay, and if it's not right, request a different board. I feel like mine's probably an early one, which is why I'm concerned, just because usually that's what I end up getting is early, pretty early versions. I just finished my Trident already and I'm loving it. Nice. Yeah, Trident is an awesome machine. Wait, what's overkill? Oh, you're saying 2 pieces. I get what you're saying. Yeah, like having the 1 piece because it might it might not stick. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Tuxedo. I tell you what, if If that ends up happening to me, I will remember you saying that, and I will say, you know what? Tuxedo was right. I should have used 2 pieces. For anyone wondering, because it works in the same way as cable break detection works, so the worst that will happen is the machine gets stuck in safe mode. Got it. So in your opinion, like, just use what I've got, right? That's what it sounds like. Okay, let me put this in place, then we're doing the giveaway. I'm removing, actually, you know what, let's do this. So I'm removing the link. If you are filling out the giveaway form, do so now. If I don't make it for time, I had to remove those covers. Yeah, I've had to remove them quite a few times as well. I mean, depending on the build. Oh no, Steve! All right, Steve, I'm gonna show you. Did you already see? You probably. Thank you for the 37 months, Steve. You've probably already seen it at this point, dude. Let me show you what we're working with here, man. Let me show you. All right, like I know this doesn't look that bad, right? You're like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. Check this out, Steve. Hold on, hold on. I can't get out further than that, Steve. Well, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with here. And I wish the stinking white balance. So this printer, I've been really pleased with really the entire build, but the cable management, is rough. It uses, I said that earlier, like I was like, I don't know if Steve showed up, but if he did, maybe he just was so disgusted that he bailed. But yeah, they use these like kind of similar to the things you designed where it's a zip tie with some VHB tape, but they're like the, you know, retail version, so they're bulkier. I mean, you know what these are, but these little square guys, right? Like this is what is intended to be used. And originally I used them and it wasn't clean by any means because of how much slack there was, but I was like, okay, I can live with this. But then when we got to today, and today had us add, in addition to all the AC wiring and wiring we'd done, the 3 toolhead cables. We already had the bed cable. So what was it? It was three toolhead cables. It was the main umbilical for the toolhead, like the tool changing aspect of it. It was the fans, and it was limit switches. And it added just, oh, and then we also had to add like the Nighthawk cables, like the 3 Nighthawk boards, all their, you know, power and stuff. And so like it went from like, this is where that, yes, this is where your Discord tag photo came from. So it went from like something where I could live with it to just no, this is too much. And then on top of that, which I was like, okay, Steve would really be like shaking his head, is that there's not a bottom panel. If there was a bottom panel, I could probably live with fairly messy as long as I can kind of tighten things up a little bit. But the fact that there's no bottom panel, if I have anything that's hanging, it's going to be a lot easier for it to snag. And I said this earlier, and I'll tell you, Steve, which I probably told you before, my 2.4 still doesn't have a bottom panel. I'm not always like, I'm not as bottom panel strict as you are. But in this printer, with how much is going on, it needs, a bottom panel would have been great. The fact that it doesn't have it means I have to do some more stuff with this. So I don't want to go through and cut and crimp things because it's way too tedious and time involved, and I'm squirrely, I can't do it. But what I am doing is taking off all the zip ties and all the things I put in place and figuring out areas where I can put in little raceways so that I can at least try to consolidate this a bit more and make it look a little bit cleaner. So that's where we're at. But yeah, there's been a lot of Steve references today because, you know, like what would Steve do and all of those, I can leave that there, it's probably fine. So that's what we're going with, Steve. Yeah, I wish I need what's the cleaning show, like not cleaning show, the organization show where I can't remember her name, but like the lady comes in and like cleans and organizes and has you get rid of a bunch of clutter and stuff like that. Aaron watched it on Netflix when it first came out. Like, does it bring you joy? Does it spark joy? Someone here knows. Someone's got to know. But I feel like I could do a spin-off of that show with Steve, where he just comes in and, like, you pop your hood on your printer, and Steve just doesn't really judge you. Like, yeah, Mary, that's it, Marie Kondo, that's it, yeah. I need a spin-off of that with Steve, where you pop your hood on your wires. He doesn't really judge you. He can see the look on his face, like, says it all. Then he helps you, like, how can we make this better? I would watch that show. I'm just saying. I feel like a lot of people in this chat would totally watch the Steve show. Anyways, I'm glad you're here, Steve, so I could show you this nest of things. But we are going to do the giveaway now. Whew. So let's do that. We got 94 entries, which is great because it means I don't have to download anything. I can just copy everyone over. The good news, though, you weren't here for it, Steve, but GP's had the idea of, hey, before you undo all of your, cable management stuff that you've done and start doing this, at least maybe power it on to make sure that there's no magic smoke, because it would suck to get everything, in place and then realize there still could obviously be something faulty. But we did do the first power and everything lit up, fans were spinning, and there was no magic smoke. So it might look chaotic, but at least things were plugged in seemingly correctly, which is a win. All right, let's get this wheel of names. Boom, here we are. We are all way too touchy about our builds, and we are all way too touchy about our builds to show them and have Steve critique. Steve would do it nicely though. Like, even like Steve doing it nicely would be entertaining for me. Like, even him just looking at it and like the smile of like, that would be enough for me to be like, oh, I know it's you. Did you see the picture of Steve's wiring in his shed? I didn't. He sent me a photo of when he'd done some of the rough-in, but I didn't see. I don't know that I saw the detailed one you're referencing. Alrighty. 94 people in chat. So really quickly, I wanted to take a moment to thank Polymaker for letting us do these giveaways. For anyone that is new, if you're in, was it North America or just US and Canada? I think it was just US and Canada. If you win, you get a gift card. And if you are anywhere else in the world and you win, you get to pick, I want to say it's any spool up to a $35 value. I believe that I've nailed it. So, I know, but how long would one episode be? 3 minutes? No, they'd be longer. I can 15 minutes, man. 15 minutes. Does it work? Yes. Is it pretty? Not yet. Exactly. So, the winner will receive an email from me within 24 hours, so be on the lookout for that. That'll contain a form and a unique code. As always, I think I said thank you to Polymaker, but thank you again to Polymaker. And if anyone does want to support the channel and needs to pick up some filament, one way you can do so is by using the link in the description to pick up some Polymaker filament, and a portion of that does go to helping out the channel. So thank you to everyone that has been doing that. It does really help. Somehow I never sent you those pictures. Sent. All right, let me, I don't know where my phone is, Steve. This morning, okay, let me do the giveaway because people are waiting and I can tell Steve, but things have been amok. Things have been amok. I am so scattered unintentionally trying to find the path. Things have not been going well. So I don't know where my phone is. I had to swap out the TV this morning. The TV broke that I used that I'm looking at right now. It just broke. It's been kind of like a little bit touchy, and then no power, no backlight, nothing. So I had to, 45 minutes before the stream started, rip it off the wall, run down, find another TV that we had from many, many years ago, and get that thing mounted to the wall. It's been a day. Anyways, let's do this giveaway. How many times are we shuffling it? How many times are we shuffling it? Amok. Running amok. Isn't that's a saying, right? I feel like I've heard it. Run amok. It's also a Pokemon. You got some crazy numbers. 123 for Tuxedo. 23 times 3 for Hasios. Let's get some serious numbers in the chat, all right? 7 for the number of streams. Oh, I do like when a number has some significance. 37. The answer is 42. Steve says 1. That is an oddly simple amount of shuffles. I think we have to do the 1 for Steve, man. I think that because Steve had to witness this, he gets to choose the shuffles. So we're gonna do 1. We'll do 1 today. All right, everyone. I want you to watch just so you can see that I do indeed shuffle at 1 time. Here we go. 1. I've never shuffled it less than probably 3 or 4 times, so that's weird for me. All right, everybody. Here we go. Good luck to all of you. In 3, that's a score for the cabling. Oh, that's what I need is as part of the show, Steve has to have numbers written 1 through 10, like diving. And I'll hold it up. All right, here we go. Good luck, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Feels bad, man. Hey, that is a familiar name. Kenneth, you are today's winner. Look at some sound effects. Congratulations to Kenneth. I will send you that email in the next 24 hours, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thank you everyone for entering one more time. I know I've said it like 3 times now. Thanks to Polymaker for letting us do this. It's very cool to be able to give filament away to so many people, over the last couple of years. So, cheers. All right, everyone. We're gonna probably call it pretty soon here. We did start an hour early because I mentioned we have to get to the car dealership at 2:30. So I've got roughly 40-ish minutes, and I do need to inhale a burrito. My game plan, here's my game plan by next stream. Cable management down here. I already said it, I'm not going for greatness. I'm going for passing. I'm not going to, I just want to feel like I don't have to be super concerned every time I move this that I'm going to smack a cable. And yeah, I just want to clean things up a bit, man. There's too much going on. We're going to be using, I don't know, is that even? I did it at an angle because I was trying to show you, that's even enough. So the way I'm going to do that is through using more cable raceways. So cable raceway here, probably a big cable raceway. Oh, we'll see, because I have to figure out how to get these guys in here, the Nighthawk boards. But lots of cable raceways and probably some more zip ties, but I'm very likely just going to go with Steve's little zip tie holders if I can find them. I don't know if, Steve, did you ever post those to your Discord or your GitHub? But Steve has essentially these types of things, but they're smaller and just work better / look nicer at least, because they have more of a natural shape to form a circle versus just being flat. Anyways, so yes, my game plan is by next week, I start the stream off by showing you, we go, ooh, we go, ah, or at least we go, that passes. Great job. And I would also like to have the micro SD card or the eMMC flashed, which failed 4 times on today's stream. Granted, it ran in the background. There's somewhere I can check and send a link. Okay, I know that you've sent them to me before, so they are in our Discord messages, but I will say this, like, I've tried searching for files that you've sent me in our Discord messages, and it's often really tough to keyword them into existence. Like, I don't know if there's maybe some other filtering I can do that would make it easier, but if you can't find them, I will just scroll up or try to figure out what word you would have said, like cable management, tie, I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely print out some of those. So yeah, the game plan is cable management is done, board is flashed, and all we are doing is starting with flashing the things, which is going to be Nighthawks, it's going to be SKR3, it's going to be, is that it? The Eddy probe, and then going through like the calibration and check process. That is my dream. So just search has file or has link. Okay. I'm going to copy that, Steve, because I should have looked for filtering keywords, but I didn't. Instead, I just kept spamming Control F or search for different words, so I will do that. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna do. So, hey, Yuli. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. I need a burrito before we take off because we're going, like I said, to the car dealership, and then we have swim after that. But thank you everyone for hanging out. I wish I wish the printer was not on its face still and that we had started doing calibration, but that's how streaming be sometimes. And I don't really have anything else to say. That's just how it is sometimes. And we will continue next week. I'm thinking that, so this was stream 7. I'm thinking next week we get everything flashed, we go through the calibration. I'm thinking next week's stream and one more stream very likely. I'm sure I could do another stream after that, just of like hanging out and actually like doing more stuff with tool changers or getting it dialed in. But that's like 2.5 months already, and I've had that FISEC. I can never remember the one that Nero's been building. Don't tell me. I'm not looking in chat. I wanna find this out on my own. The Venture XL. We need to get that started. So I'm also moving garage stuff around because I'm taking over the single car bay and giving Aaron half of the 2-car bay because the car won't fit in the single car bay. It's too wide. I took measurements when I took measurements of it and asked the dealer like what the width is from mirror to mirror, and it's like 2 inches of clearance on each side. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So it's gonna be interesting. But anyways, a couple more streams with this, and then we will start the monster build, which I have no idea how long it's gonna take, but it's gonna take a long time, and it's gonna be wild and fun and full of laughs, I'm sure. So all right, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful week. Steve, we are talking tomorrow, man. I didn't even know that there was a what's it called, Vice coming up. I mentioned earlier that like because of baby coming and us having like a 1-month-old at the time, I probably can't make it, but like I was like, Steve didn't even tell me that there was a Vice coming up, but I have a feeling it would have happened if we had had the conversation that we were supposed to have like 2 weeks ago at this point. But tomorrow we're chatting. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week. There will be a video this weekend, and we will continue next week. Thank you to all of our members, all of our new members, all gift memberships and donations. I appreciate everyone, and also just for hanging out and watching me play around with a rat's nest. So I hope catch y'all next time. Cheers, everyone. Bye. Wait, I'm still live. I didn't even click the button. All right.